there, Diana from Adirondack Girl at Heart. I teach vintage and antique lovers how to create successful antique businesses that they love. One of the ways I do that is through these videos. Today, I'm going to be focusing on books and on ephemera. I'm going to share with you some of the book categories that sell really well for me, okay? So I'm going to start with art. This isn't a typical art book. It is more of a calendar, really, because it's a painting a day. And inside, every page has a beautiful image of a piece of artwork. So this is relatively new, and it doesn't have a price on it. I'm guessing it sold for about $50 or $60 originally, and I will put $20 to $25 on it. And in that same category of art is this gorgeous Grandma Moses coffee table book. It's by Otto Collier. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he is the art dealer who discovered her in upstate New York. And I've always had a great love for her. I would be tempted to keep it, but it sold for $50 back in, actually this one didn't have a price, so I would say about $50 back in 1973. And I will put $20 to $25 on that. And it also has beautiful full color illustrations inside. It's very, very heavy. So I'm gonna put that down. Okay, there we go. Another category is regional books. If you're selling from an antique booth, like I do, then books that are about the region that I live in, or the history, or anything like that, sell really, really well and very quickly. Here's one called Tales from the Adirondack Foothills. This one dates to 1971, and I will probably put $10 on that one. It's a collection of stories about the Adirondacks. And then here, this is also a newer kind of coffee table book called Loon Magic. Loons are a very common bird in the Adirondacks, and people love them. My family loves them. In fact, a wedding gift that we received was a really gorgeous carved loon that is like so precious to me. So I try to pay $1 or less for the books that I buy, because books aren't always the fastest seller. They always sell eventually, but I don't like to spend more than $1. Occasionally, for something that I know will sell quickly, I will pay $2. That's my recommendation anyway. So I will price this at about $8 to $10. And then we have children's books, which sell. So here's a new to me book series. It's Alfred Hitchcock's Mysteries. This dates to the 1970s. And so it's a series book, and I will put $6 to $8 on that. And here's an antique book, 1929, Little Jean of France. And nice cover, nice illustrations. They're black and white photographs mostly in here relating to Little Jean. And I just thought that that would be of interest to someone who collects antique books, and I would put $8 to $10 on that one. And then here's a newer reprint of images by Kate Greenway, a beloved illustrator. These are just the sweetest illustrations with poems. Here we go. And I will put $5 to $6 on that one. Now the last three books that I want to show you, I would put them in the reference or anthology category. So the first one is this sweet Bible that would look great in a book stack because of its size and how chunky it is. And it is dated on the inside 1939. It's not in perfect shape, but look at the beautiful marble papers, end papers. Same in the back. Oh, and there's some maps back here that a crafter might like. if they were going to take it apart. There we go. The end paper. That's swirled paint. This is probably, I don't feel any texture at all, so that's probably printed on there, but really beautiful. In any event, I will probably put $10 to $12 on that chunky little Bible. And then here, this is an anthology of children's stories. It's not dated, but some of the stories are Alice in Wonderland, The Ugly Duckling, The Pied Piper, Pegasus, The Rose in the Ring, all by famous authors like the Brothers Grimm, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Robert Browning. Not a beautiful book on the outside, but the anthology, what's inside is will be interesting to buyers. And as you can see, I paid 50 cents for this one, and I will probably put $6 to $8 on that one. And then this is an anthology of Gilbert and Sullivan plays. So I pick these up because, well, first of all, they do sell, but also my daughter is an actor down in New York. And so I often pick up plays like this, and she's interested in them. She's always looking for monologues for auditions and that sort of thing. So as you can see, I paid 50 cents for that one. And I'm going to offer it to her first, but if she's not interested, then I would put $6 to $8 on that one. Let's take a look at some ephemera now. I recently picked up a couple of pretty Christmas postcards. These are Victorian. They were $1 each, and I scan them and use them for projects, and I sell them also. These would be worth about probably $3 each, something like that. And then I picked up a stack of postcards. These are local sites dating to the turn of the century, meaning the early 1900s. So I think these are going to turn out to be quite valuable. In the description below, I will have done some research on them, and I'll let you know. They were 4 for $1. So this one right here is the Governor's Mansion in Albany. So that's the governor of New York State. And I've actually been there when I worked in the legislature, but I've never seen these awnings, these striped awnings. So I'm guessing they aren't even there anymore. And then I got one from a hotel on State Street in Albany. That's the Hotel Wellington. And hotel postcards on their own tend to do quite well. And then here, this is fascinating. This is the public market. Down here below are cart and horses and carts, wagons, at Albany's market, which is no longer functioning, which is not a big surprise, right, for us in America, but we lived in England for 2 years, and there are markets everywhere, market towns, where that's like the focus. That's where everything that's happening happens there. And my favorite flea market was in Chesterfield, England, which had a huge market, and every day was something different. One day it would be new items, another day it was all produce, and the day I went, it was vintage and antiques. So we used to have markets in America, but not anymore. And then this is a picture of a very residential neighborhood, Madison and Western Avenue, and that's what it looked like back in the early 1900s, and now it's just all homes, usually 2 flat homes. It's a very popular place for students to rent apartments. And then here's North Pearl Street, which is in downtown Albany. Very wide boulevard there. So I'm thinking like $3 or $4 each from my antique booth. But like I said, I'm going to research them, and I'll get back to you. And then here's a little packet. It's not of postcards. It's a little souvenir packet of Washington, D.C. I paid 50 cents for it. Thought it was very pretty. Inside, it has images of Washington. And it should sell for about $6 or $7. here's just some ephemera. I picked up this little, this was at a garage sale of somebody who sells vintage and antiques, and he said, oh, pick up a stack of them, and you can have them for $1. So these are the little cards, I think, that train, you know, people who worked on the train who sold tickets, they would put this in the back of your seat to indicate that you had paid. Something like that. If anybody knows better, you can let me know. But I thought these would be great in art projects. So the last thing I want to show you is just a simple, very simple calling card. Victorian type of calling card that just has the person's name on it. On the back it says Merry Christmas. So this would have been dropped off at a friend's house, and typically when you brought your calling cards, they would go on a little tray, and then the homeowner would eventually look at them and respond or set up a date or something like that if they weren't home. And of course, we're familiar with the really ornate, beautiful Victorian ones. This is just so simple. And I do have an article on my website all about Victorian calling cards, so I'll link to that. I also have an article about how to clean vintage and antique books, so I'll link to that as well. And since we talked about children's book, I have an article all about little golden books that I think you might find really interesting. So thanks for joining me today with my book and ephemera finds. I hope that you will give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, go visit my blog. I would love to see you over there. And as always, happy hunting.